The white-tailed deer is Pennsylvania's state animal. Pennsylvania has an estimated 1.5 million deer, which is about 30 deer per square mile. The whitetail is able to run up to 40 miles an hour. It can jump 9-foot fences and swim 13 miles per hour. Everyone enjoys watching deer, whether it's deer grazing or fawns playing. We all know what a deer can do to crops. Deer are a farmer's worst enemy when it comes to them. Come join me as I show you the devastation of what deer did to my crops. Hi, I'm Matt and this is Just Making It. Today I'm standing in front of my soybean field and I'd like to show you what the effects of deer can do. Okay, I planted these beans using my no-till corn planter, and the row width on that planter is 36 inches. So what I decided to do was plant it one way and then I went the other way. So I crisscrossed it. That's why we got these squares. But if you look at the beans, every single one is chewed. And the leaves just they can't grow fast enough to canopy to get anything out of these beans. So you can see how every single one is just nipped and chewed by deer. And every evening I see deer in here. And there's really not much I can do. I know they make sprays that you can put on your beans, but that only lasts for like about 30 days. And then you got to put it again, and plus that could get expensive. So, but yeah, these beans, they just don't have a chance with all the deer that are in here. For you guys that want to plant food plots, okay, I've planted food plots in the past. I planted clover, I planted chicory, I planted turnips, I planted all kind of things for the deer, right? To sort of deter them from the fields that I get for crops. Well, I found out, okay, through the years, that the number one plant that I believe that deer like and that you should plant is soybeans. They come in here and they just devastate it. And they'll eat the leaves first, okay? And then they'll go away for a while. And then if you get any beans at all, okay, and it gets real cold out, and say you didn't get to your beans or you just let them go because there was too much damage, they'll come back and they'll eat the beans in the wintertime or, you know, when it gets cold. So it's a double whammy. So that's the problem I have. And I know a lot of you out there are thinking about, well, maybe you can get some tags, red tags or D-maps or what have you to shoot the deer off. This is my number one reason why I'm more of a hay farmer than anything else, is because it takes a lot of them to chew a hay field down rather than a bean field. So I don't want to put hay in here. Like I said, I like to rotate beans and corn. So I'm going to walk over here and I'm going to show you what they did to my corn along the edge of the beans. Okay, here's some corn that I planted on the edge of the beans, okay, thinking that maybe, you know, that I could make like a wall or just block them out. But you can see they pretty much devastated my corn right here. They ate the tops right down to the bottom. And it's August 11th. So I'm not going to get any corn right here. Of course, it's just a couple of rows. Now this is where a lot of the deer come through, okay, to get to the beans. So if you look down here along the wood line, okay, the corn's doing better down there. See that there? Now I'm going to show you a different spot. Okay, so the deer are coming through here and they're eating all the corn. So if we go up by the road over here, and I'm going to zoom in and I'm going to show you up by the road the corn. Look at that corn. So they're not coming in from that side. They're coming in from this side where I'm standing, and they're just eating their way to the beans. So what do you think? Do you think these beans are going to have a chance? Should I take the risk and just let them grow and maybe not get nothing? A lot of time, a lot of money's been spent. So should I just rip it up? Should I put rye in maybe? What do you guys think? Throw me a comment, let me know. So this is the corn up by the road. You can see it's doing pretty good. And then I'll scan back over where I was there, and there's no corn over there. And this is what the beans look like on this end. They're all chewed. They're there. It's just a shame. They never had a chance to canopy. So I gotta make a decision here. Come September, end of August, what I'm gonna do with this field. There's maybe 15 acres here of beans. It's hard to believe that all those deer can do this much damage, but they do. So I had a really good start, and they got in here and they started eating the leaves. So what happened was the grass started to grow, so I sprayed it and to give it one more chance, and they're still coming in here eating these leaves, and it's not able to canopy to help me out on the weed control. So my question is, what do I do? Do I plow this up? Do I let it grow and see what happens and end up not getting anything? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you guys out there what you would plant if I was to plow this in the fall, and what would you plant so I can get a crop maybe in the spring, late spring. And what I usually do is I rotate beans and corn, and so I'd like to plant corn here next spring. But I have to think of a crop to put in here that, and maybe that I could harvest and then put my corn in. So it would have to be, I like to put corn in, say, mid-May, no later than maybe the 20th of May. That's when I like to plant my corn. But the corn that I plant, we pretty much use as silage. So it's not going to really matter too much if I plant my corn a little bit later. So if you have any recommendations on what I should put in this field, please throw me a comment. You know, I had some thoughts about cereal rye, putting that in, and then it gets dormant during the winter, then it shoots up in the spring, and then maybe getting some grain off of that and maybe some straw, or maybe try to dry it out and bale it for the cows. I'm really not too sure. So if you have any ideas on what I could put in here for a fall crop and still put my corn in the spring, throw me a comment.